time. Man, I'm gonna try and keep this under 5 minutes if I can. I will be brief as always. If you can like it, you can share it. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Never take the light of truth and place it under a basket. World War III is going to happen. Now, for those of you that don't follow me on Facebook, that's all good. But you can create a Facebook account and go and look and see the many posts that I make where I share information about what's going on, because I don't do drive times all the time. But I'm going to briefly give you a little bit of history. We went into Iraq based on a pack of lies. I shared that video where somebody, a politician, okay, from that time, you'll have to go to my wall and you'll have to look for it. I'm not going to spoon feed you everything. Said, I told you so. It was all based on a pack of lies. I told you what was going to happen. If you watch what happened with how Colin Powell was used and how he ended up dropping out of sight because he knew what time it was. If you recall Libya and Iraq, they were all threatening to do something different when it came to what their financial situation was backed on. Libya, they were going to go with the dinar, the gold dinar. In Iraq, they were going to do something different financially as well. Both were set up and supported by the U.S. Did you not know that we did the same thing with Iran, and now they are an enemy? I'm telling you, it's hard to understand how people don't see this. The difference in this particular situation is Russia, Putin is not a puppet of the United States. Now, there are videos on my wall that explains what all is going on with Ukraine, my Facebook wall that is, and how we got to where we are. Take this as fact. Zeke, that's what I call him. Zelensky is as corrupt as they come. He is a puppet, all right? He was put in power based on a coup initiated by the Obama administration, okay? And now, today, the news just came out. Maybe it was announced yesterday, but I saw the report today. Russia just announced, hey, we're going to start with the gold standard. War is now assured. Now, I already told you we were going to have it. I have made numerous posts about its shift change. I told you back when we were in the mandate frenzy that as soon as all of this is over with, as soon as they finish with this particular shift, they will move back to the war. Now is Big Pharma's time. And all the idiots, out of fear, and I'm sorry, forgive me for calling you idiots, but you were, because people told you that this was nonsense. And Donald Trump didn't do anybody any favors by talking about, hey, I gave you the vaccine. As far as I'm concerned, that's a black mark. And there are a lot of people that are Trump supporters. I am a Trump supporter, but I do not like what he did when it came to warp speed. It was a disservice, much like what Ronald Reagan did with the Vaccine Act of 1986, I believe, may have been 84. So now they have finished that for Big Pharma. They have gotten all of these individuals to go out and allow their bodies to be hacked. I don't know if anybody ever told you about this before, but I learned this a long time ago from this older lady. I wanted to get a BM, a good bowel movement. So I would take laxatives. And the lady, friend of mine, was a nurse. She said, if you keep doing that, at some point, your body will get to the point to where it will just shut down when it comes to naturally initiating the need for a bowel movement, because, hey, you found something else to replace the body's natural function with, laxatives. She said, don't do that. Well, what the hell do you think is happening when they're using messenger RNA to induce the body to produce spike proteins to fight a virus? Same thing is going to happen. I posted a video out there bringing that out to the forefront about how humans have been hacked. The information is coming out in that area, so now they are backing off. New York, and they were one of the main cities, or states rather, that was focused on these mandates and making people have to get these vaccine passports. I think not this Monday, but Monday prior, they ended all of that because it is shift change. They're getting ready to move to war. And I still remember during the Iraq war, every single week, there was a running tally of how many troops were maimed, how many troops were killed during the Iraq war. And everybody was crying like babies. But you know what? Now everybody is crying about what's happening over there in Ukraine because of what they're hearing from the news, whether it be CNN or Fox. And Fox is going all out to promote why we need to get involved by providing weaponry to Ukraine in defense of Russia. But Russia has made it clear, Putin has made it clear, anybody that gets involved in providing weaponry, then you are involved in this war. If Ukraine joins NATO by Article 5, everybody in NATO must get involved in the war. I'm telling you, that is World War III. Now, Putin has just said, hey, we're getting ready to get off the gold standard. All you got to do is research the truth about what happened with Libya, research the truth about what happened with Iraq. Both threaten the dollar because the dollar isn't backed by anything. You know what? A friend of mine by the name of Hank Sullivan and I, we used to always talk about how, while we are sitting here dealing with all these people going back and forth on these issues about the budget, about the debt, etc., they have no clue that if the dollar failed tomorrow, nothing else matters. And on top of that, if we don't deal with the Fed and cut it off at the knees, nothing else matters. Nobody ever got that. And because of what Putin has just announced, that he is going to back the ruble, buy gold, this is going to tank America. We are going to war. And when you were all crying about the soldiers being lost, American soldiers being lost in Iraq, what the hell do you think is going to happen next? They aren't going to start out with a nuclear attack. We're going to start sending bodies over there to be brought home in body bags. Then what are you going to do? While you're all listening to Mark Rubio, Lindsey Graham, Mitt Romney, all pushing, and here's the setup. Biden is staunchly against a no-fly zone. Biden is staunchly against giving warplanes to Poland or to Ukraine. Staunchly against. That's the setup. And the Republicans, the rhinos, are staunchly for providing all of that. So Biden will then come back, segregation, Jim Crow Joe, and I call him segregation Jim Crow Joe for a reason, and I'm going to make the point with this. Biden don't give a damn about other races. The man, and I have posted the video, if not 10 times, 50 times, about Biden's past speeches, even one from Judge Joe Brown talking about when Biden was campaigning with Robert Byrd, KKK member, campaigned with him to keep schools segregated in Virginia. And Negroes still went out in droves and voted for him. Didn't give a damn about any of his history or his history of lying, but they did it anyway. And when the truth starts finally coming out about the vaccine, then they're going to say, well, it was Trump's fault. Gas prices, they're going to say it was Trump's fault. I just posted a video where Trump said, look, let me tell you, this was before the second election. If Biden gets in, you're going to see gas prices hit $5, $6, and $7. It's happening right now. But nobody is paying attention. Nobody wants to acknowledge it. And nobody is talking about these things. Not even Fox. Because Fox is now trying to move us in towards this war. And when we get this war, you'll start crying again. But here's the sad part. And the saddest part for me is how Negroes perceive this. Over in the Congo, do you know they cut off a woman's breasts just so that they can't feed their babies? They cut off a man's hands so he can't wipe his own ass. These are the things that they have been doing over in the Congo and in those civil wars and other places in Africa, and nobody ever talks about it. Nobody has ever done anything about it. What about what Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton did when they ripped off the Haitians? Nobody ever talked about it. Nobody's even concerned about it. But everybody is weeping tears of blood over the people that are being killed over in Ukraine. Well, you want to know what the difference is? See, them people down in Haitian, they Negroes. Them people over there in the Congo, they Negroes. Those people over there in the Middle East that have been being killed by the tens of thousands that we don't weep about, they are what they consider sand niggas. Excuse my language, but this is it. But now they are weeping tears of blood because these are European white people being killed, being turned into refugees. That's just something we can't have. We must get involved in World War III, where your sons and daughters will be the ones going over there shedding their blood in another country because of a corrupt Ukrainian president, Zeke, and a corrupt president going back from segregation Jim Crow Joe 40 years ago, going back to Obama, going back to Bush 2, going back to Bush 3. That is exactly what is going on, and y'all can't even see it. That's the sad part for me. You know, it's hard for me to even understand. But you know what? I'm going to shut up. I put this out there. You deal with it however you want. But nobody can say I didn't tell you so. I have lamented like a prophet about rhinos to conservatives and Republicans for at least 12 years. And we don't get rid of any of them. Mitt Romney got reelected. Graham still in office. And all of these bastards are there in their 80s. Most of them, Pelosi included. When it's all said and done, none of their children will be over there shedding blood for what is about to happen next. And I'm telling you now, war is coming. War is coming. And Putin is now threatening the dollar, which is backed by nothing but oil. Nixon gave us that. So y'all better wake up and smell the coffee, and you better prepare yourselves. I taught Sunday school this past Sunday, and I explained to everybody. I explained to Christians, those that were there in church. As far as a Christian is concerned, don't nothing else matter but the cross, because that's where the power of God resides. Nothing else matters but the cross in preaching the gospel. Yeah, I ran for office, and my main motivator for running for office was to try and really, actually take God back into D.C. by exposing the corrupt politicians. I was told many things when I ran. Well, you know, no matter who wins the primary, you must accept them. No, the hell I don't. I don't have to accept corruption. I don't have to work with corrupt politicians. They need to be exposed. But that's not what the average person will tell you. A good friend of mine, whom I love to death, will still vote for a rhino because he thinks that's the only way to win. I don't get it. If you elect evil, you have evil. And evil is what you're going to get, especially when a person has shown you what they are all about. T-Mod out. Drive time till next time. Peace.